Friends, you've probably watched many movies about big heists like Money Heist, Fast and Furious, or Ocean's 11. However, all these stories were written in a room and have no connection to reality. But today, I'm going to tell you about a story based on real events. In this story, 5 friends rob a massive bank in broad daylight, right under the noses of the police, and escape successfully without even a scratch. If you want to know about these masterminds, stay with me. And yes, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Fernando, a middle-aged judo instructor and sketch artist, was living a decent life, but he wasn't satisfied. The main reason for his dissatisfaction was the lack of money. One night, while returning home from work, he stood by the roadside eating berries. Suddenly, a car sped past, splashing water on him and ruining his berries. Frustrated, he threw the berries into the water, and they floated down into a sewer drain. Following the berries, Fernando reached a main drain and went inside, where a stormy idea struck his mind: robbing the Banco Río. The next day, he shared his idea with his mechanical engineer friend Sebastian, who loved it but pointed out they would need a lot of equipment and vehicles to pull it off. For that, they needed an investor. While looking for an investor, they approached another friend, Dibazzo, but his financial condition was no better. However, he directed them to his thief friend Mario, a solo operator who survived by committing petty thefts. Mario was so skilled that he had never been caught. Mario loved the idea, and they started working on it together. They first visited the location and measured the distance from the road to the sewer, which Fernando calculated to be just 18 meters away from becoming millionaires. In the next scene, Fernando, Mario, and Dibazzo sit in a room discussing the plan in detail. They decide to dig a tunnel through the sewer pipe to the bank, but there was a problem. Every room in the bank was equipped with motion sensors. Fernando explains that motion sensors are only triggered by temperature differences. To solve this, he designs a special suit using sleeping tents, which makes him undetectable to the sensors. Next, they needed to understand what the bank lockers looked like and gather information about the rooms inside the bank. The next day, Fernando and Sebastian enter the bank for this purpose. While Fernando is secretly taking pictures inside the bank, the security guards catch him and take him to the safe room for interrogation. However, this was part of his plan, to see what the lockers looked like and map the interiors of the bank. The guards find nothing suspicious about Fernando, especially since he removed the memory card from the camera. Using his memory and pictures, Fernando creates a map of the bank. They also mark the sewer-to-bank distance using a bicycle tire and create a precise angle for the tunnel that would lead them directly to the bank's smallest room. The next day, they start drilling from the sewer towards the bank. But there was another challenge. There were approximately 400 lockers in the bank, and breaking each lock would take about 2 minutes, meaning it would take 7 hours to complete the job. To tackle this problem, the next day, Mario visits another branch of the bank and rents a safety locker. This allows him to thoroughly examine the locks used in the bank. In this project, they hire another person, Alberto, whose main role is to arrange vehicles for their escape. The next day, while they are drilling in the sewer, their drill machine breaks down. Fernando asks Mario to buy a new drill, but Mario refuses, saying he has already spent a lot of money on the project and won't invest more until they find a solution to the security issues. That night, Fernando is lying in his car with his girlfriend, gazing at the stars, when a new idea strikes him. He rushes to Mario and explains that the bank's security measures differ during the day and night. He proposes that they enter the bank through the front door during the day, complete the heist, and then escape through the tunnel. Mario agrees to this bold plan. The next day, Sebastian enters the sewer through a manhole, while the rest of the team, wearing masks and gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints, enters the bank. Mario and Dibazzo handle the first floor, while Fernando and Alberto manage the ground floor. They hold everyone at gunpoint and order them to lie down. Meanwhile, the security guard in the surveillance room sees the robbers entering the bank and immediately calls the police. Fernando, listening to the police communication on his wireless device, is aware of the situation. Within moments, the police arrive. Fernando takes a civilian hostage, steps outside the bank, and threatens the police that he will kill the hostage if they attempt to enter. He signals Mario that Phase 1 is complete. Mario, holding another hostage at gunpoint, forces the security guard to leave the surveillance room. After some resistance, the guard complies. Mario takes his gun and phone, disables the cameras, and escorts the guard out of the bank. Fernando then enters a small room in the bank where Sebastian breaks through the wall from the sewer. They bring in a machine from a car in the garage and begin assembling it. It is revealed that they've created a powerful cannon machine to break the locks. With this machine, they can break a lock in just 7 seconds. Meanwhile, outside the bank, the media, police, and relatives of the hostages gather. The police captain calls the security guard's phone, which Mario answers. During this time, Mario notices a sniper moving on the building and warns the captain to remove them immediately, or he will start killing hostages. Reluctantly, the captain complies. The captain then asks Mario for his demands, to which Mario replies that he will only speak with the city mayor. The captain requests an hour to arrange this. It is revealed that Fernando has given Mario a thick book on negotiation tactics to buy them as much time as possible to complete their mission. Meanwhile, the rest of the team works at full speed, breaking open lockers and collecting gold and cash. During this time, Mario learns that it's an elderly woman's birthday. He wishes her, and Debazzo celebrates by lighting a candle on a piece of chocolate. They let her go as a birthday gift. Outside, the police captain and his team, frustrated and puzzled, discuss the situation. They conclude there are only 2 ways in or out of the bank: the main entrance and the garage. Shortly after, the city mayor arrives. Mario begins hurling insults at him for sentencing him to 15 years in prison in the past. The tense atmosphere outside intensifies as the robbers continue their operation inside. The captain is baffled by the robbers' intentions. To further stall him, Mario demands a lawyer. He gives the captain the number of one of the hostages, then disguises his voice to pretend to be the lawyer. Meanwhile, the team loads the stolen goods into a boat. Suddenly, Mario cuts the call and rushes toward the tunnel, while Fernando leaves all the guns in the bank and erases the tunnel markings to cover their tracks. The captain grows suspicious about Mario's seriousness in the negotiations. Noticing the sewer entrance, he sends one team to the front door and another into the sewer. However, by the time the police act, the robbers have already escaped. The team had constructed a temporary dam in the sewer to increase the water level, enabling them to speed away on a motorized boat. Once they escape, the robbers destroy all evidence by setting it on fire. They gather at Alberto's house to divide the loot equally. A year passes, and everyone is living a luxurious life. However, trouble brews when Alberto's wife catches him cheating with another woman. In anger, she reports the robbery to the police. The police begin arresting the group one by one. 7 months later, Fernando is released from prison, having served a reduced sentence. Mario, in a luxurious car, picks him up. The team had planned for this scenario in advance, knowing they would face lighter sentences as they didn't harm anyone and left behind all the guns. Additionally, the bank had no official record of how much money and valuables were stolen from the lockers. Out of the $25 million stolen, the police could only recover $1 million. The film ends with this revelation, and the closing scene shows real-life pictures of the heist and the robbers.